Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Online Teaching Show. My name is Tim. If you are new here, thank you so much for tuning in. And it is so good to be back. I was looking at my little old YouTube channel and realized I hadn't gone live since before the holidays. And I think it was just a culmination of running my course again at the same time of doing our Level Up Teaching Summit, which was in early December. And then kind of just crashing. You know what that's like when you're just really busy and overwhelmed and you just need a break. So for Christmas, went to Bali and had a wonderful time there. But I got COVID, came back to Bangkok for New Year's, and have been slowly settling back in and getting back into the swing of things. So happy holidays or post-holidays. I hope everybody had a good Christmas if you celebrate or whatever you celebrate. And I hope you had a good New Year's as well, and that you're ready to start 2023 with your online teaching business or whatever you're doing. Let me know in the chat where you're tuning in from. Thank you so much to those that have said hello. Hey, Carl, we'll address some of those things in a bit. Hey, Bearded Teacher. Hey, Seaton, good morning. So good to see you. Hey, Stephanie, good morning. And Mary's here. Thank you so much. Hey, Holly. So it's afternoon where you are. Hey, Making It My Way, Mexico. I like it. Good morning from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. I'm probably saying that wrong. Facebook users, if you are wanting your name to show, I think underneath the live, there's a thing you can authorize Facebook to show your name. I haven't actually done it myself, but I know that's what you need to do. But anyway, hello. Hey, Stephanie in Tampa, Florida. How is the weather there? I actually not only did I go away for Christmas, came back for New Year's, I had to pop up north to into Chiang Mai to renew my visa at immigration, and that took a few days. But temperatures went down to about 13 degrees Celsius, which is super cold for Thailand. And it was definitely really, really nice because we're generally in the really hot, humid temperatures here. UK, okay, cool, right? So it's afternoon for you. Bright, sunny, and cold in Canada. I do miss it. Hey, Melissa, okay, gotcha. Good to have you. And another Facebook user in New York. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. So I do these shows. I will be doing them consistently again. I like to do interviews with other teachers, teacherpreneurs, online teachers who have something to share. Maybe have a story to share. It can be really anything. And I'm looking for folks to come on the channel in the coming weeks. So if this time works for you, if you're watching it live, I'm sure it does. But if you're watching the replay and you wouldn't mind popping on the channel for an interview with me just to talk about your online teaching journey, maybe you've got a story to share about how you found students, or you wanted to talk about companies, chit chat about anything to do with online teaching. Maybe you've got a cool strategy for scaling your business, or you have, just some new ideas to help online teachers. Please reach out to me. Underneath the video you're watching will be my email address, and would love to touch base with you and have you on the channel. So we're going to start those starting up next Monday, but I've just been really kind of wanting to go live again, but finding it difficult because, I hit this great 20,000 subscriber number over Christmas. It was just a little early December, I think. And, I was just so happy and proud of that, but realized that I had just really gotten into a slump with making videos. My last video, not a live show, but my last video was, I think, sometime in August, maybe September. And I was making weekly videos for about 3 or 4 years, mostly weekly. My channel was really built on VIP Kid, sharing about tips and tricks for passing the demo, doing recruiting for a lot of the big online companies. And then, of course, we know what happened in China. And that caused me to really question what I was doing and the content that I was making. And of course, I pivoted to teaching independently, helping and coaching other online teachers to do that. But, recently I have just found it difficult to talk about online ESL companies, mainly because I don't work for them. And I think, I always want to show up authentically and talk about things that I can really help folks in. I do recruit for a few companies that are on my website, but outside of that, it's really a laborious job to keep up with what companies are hiring, what the requirements are teachers getting bookings, and all these kinds of things. And so many companies are difficult to get into now, just because with the surge of teachers that are looking to get hired with companies obviously outside of China. This has driven the pay really low and the bookings really low in some cases as well. I'm always interested to hear of teachers who are doing well with companies. So if that's you, share in the comments where you're working. That's always helpful for people that are watching. But as far as the content on this channel, I've decided to really not talk too much about companies, just because it's difficult to be accurate these days with what's going on. I still want to bring value in the realm of independent teaching. That's something that I'm still doing and still helping teachers to do. So I really do like that. But I also want to bring in a lot of content about building an online business and working from home. And also a part of my life where I'm able to travel and do this remotely, I think is enticing to a lot of people. So I want to share more of my life as a sort of quote unquote digital nomad, someone that makes money at home, quit their teaching job 5 years ago and has been able to build a brand, an audience, and paid products and services to help those who are in my niche and those teachers that I want help to scale their businesses. So that's what you can expect to come in 2023 with content on the channel. I'm still going to be doing lives on Mondays with teachers, primarily to talk about just inspiring you to think outside the box and to implement new strategies to help grow your teaching business. So I'm not going anywhere in terms of online teaching and that sort of content, but I'm just going to broaden the content that I'm sharing, and I'm excited about that. So hope you will stick around. And I really do appreciate all of you that have supported my channel over the years. It's been a really fun and exciting journey. I've hit lots of lows where I've kind of run into walls and am unsure of the content that folks want to learn and know more about. But I've realized that in order to have a YouTube channel for a long time, it's important to create content that you want to create, that's exciting for me to create, and that hopefully will be helpful and entertaining and interesting for others. So again, thanks for being a subscriber. If you are, if you're not, you can do that now and hit subscribe. Thanks for commenting on my videos. And the great thing about YouTube is all the content that you create, if you ever want to get into creating a YouTube channel, it lives on forever. And so if you want to learn about companies, I have lots of videos out there on my channel. If you want to learn about independent teaching, there's a lot of stuff out there as well. And please join the Going Solo Independent Teaching Facebook group. We've got over 5,300 members and would love to grow that more. Lots of support, good questions, good resources in there to help you in your journey with online teaching. So, definitely head on over there. There should be a link in the description of this video for that. So yeah, all right. My rambling, I think, is done on some updates. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the notice of the Chinese regulations that came out in December. A lot of it is really similar to what I had, what we all kind of learned about in 2021. So I'm going to bring up that in just a second, but just want to see who's popping in. Hey guys. Hey, Deb6. Do you think China could reverse regulations in the future? Well, you know what? I always thought that my computer is sliding because I've got a cat in there. And also, I apologize for my microphone. So if you have a MacBook, you will know that Macs don't allow USB input, right? So my microphone is a USB input. And I purchased this about 3 years ago, which, does that USB-C, I think, to USB, to regular USB. But somebody has chewed right through that, and she's a white animal that is hiding under my computer at the moment. So yeah, the microphone was all set up and makes me look professional, but it doesn't work. So hopefully the sound is still coming through okay there. Hey, yes. I was going to answer this real quick. I always thought that, maybe in 5 years they would reverse things. And you know what? Sure, it's possible. But I don't see it happening anytime soon. Are you only working online? Yes, I'm only working online. I have my YouTube channel. I have a course coaching program for teachers, which I've run 6 or 7 times in the last couple of years. I also teach my students independently every day, and still, have my hands in that pot. And of course, just creating content on this channel and Facebook to help teachers as well. So, yep, fully online for the last 4 or 5 years. All right, Mary's got an update. Yeah, if you guys have updates on what you're up to, I would love to hear. We'll kind of talk through these as I give you some of my thoughts on the Chinese regulations that came out. I've opened my non-private slots on VIP Kid. Mistake. Almost fully booked. Pay is crap. No energy to scale my business. Yeah, that's. I'm glad to hear that they're doing well, but at the same time, you're opening your slots for what is it, $14 an hour, which is more than a third lower than what I charge my private students. And I'm sure you as well. So it's tricky. I would close them back up, stay focused. I think, it's tempting when you get all those bookings with a low paying company, but I don't think it's a good long-term plan. Stephanie's still with VIP Kid. Cool. I'm teaching mainly adult speaking classes to mainly children and guided reading classes. I'm booked regularly. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah, I think the pay is $14 an hour, but Stephanie could clarify. I've heard that too. Crazy, right? They closed everything up, moved the business outside of China, marketing to non-Chinese students, but I hear that 90% of them are still Chinese. So that's really interesting. VIP Kid is really the only company that I still keep tabs on. So, I might continue to talk about them if they come out with new updates and things like that, mainly because they're near and dear to my heart because I worked for them for 4 years almost. Yeah, 2018 to almost the end to beginning of 22. So they're really near and dear to my heart. They really helped me get started in this whole thing. So I really care about them in a way that I don't about other companies, I guess. But I'll continue to talk about them. Would love to know what you mean, Holly. Why for financial reasons? I believe you can really get started for, next to nothing. There's a lot of free stuff out there, free curriculums, free resources online, low cost curriculums that you can get. You can start with a free platform like Zoom, and rock and roll with that. So thank you so much to 33 people watching over Facebook and YouTube. I love all of you dearly, and I really am so appreciative of you popping in to watch me live. When you don't go live for so long, you have that deep fear that you're going to go on camera and no one's going to come and say hi and watch. So appreciate all of you. Hey, Katie, tuning in from Japan. Yes, it's a little bit later. Actually, thanks again for tuning in early because I did create this for 9 a.m. Eastern time, just because, hey, I'm kind of wanting to kind of wrap things up at night a little bit earlier too. One of those things that I got carried away with in 2022 was working late and working, into the night, into sometimes 2 a.m. And it's just not good for my health. So I just decided that I wanted to, I have to do this at night because of, reaching folks throughout the globe, but I wanted to make it a little bit earlier. So I think this will be the new time going forward. Snitch line is, don't know what that is, Mary. Connie, hey, Connie from Florida. Yes, another one from Florida. Hey, Catherine, so glad you made the live as well today. Hey, Ingrid, what would we, oh yeah, I'm catching up on comments from before. I know, and this poor thing, she was, I've had to leave her a lot. I've had people taking care of her, but over the holidays and things, but it is sure nice to come back to our pets, isn't it? Even though they eat the cables of our technology. I had a good online business back in the UK until regulations changed. I since moved back to Hong Kong, wanting to do a sideline of online teaching from here. Yeah, I mean, my Hong Kong friends are, doing well with private students for sure. You can make a very good income with Hong Kong students. Hey, from Nepal. Is that Nepal, Carolyn? Nepal? If it is Nepal, I just heard about a terrible plane crash outside of Pokhara in Nepal. I think 45 killed, something tragic like that. Hey, Dana was a VIP Kid teacher. I don't have more students, Facebook user says, but I have increased my time to 40-minute lessons, 30 per class. I'm already sitting there. Might as well make more money. Hey, why not? Absolutely. VIP Kid is American Canadian teachers, as far as I know. Yes, Mary, I'm here to give a kick in the butt for sure. And, going forward with, I want to teach others other things as well. I want to help online teachers to really grow their businesses with email marketing, with growing an audience and building a brand online, which I think a lot of teachers are interested in, especially just outside of maybe just your teaching. Maybe you've got a business idea or something like that. And, I want to create some content around that over the coming months to help teachers to do that. So I am paid my original pay rate before the regulation happened because it's mainland China classes and not global. I make $8 a class with incentives. Oh, okay, interesting. I didn't know that they were still honoring a higher rate. You're just awake. Yeah, I feel you. That's getting late for me too. Yes, Seaton, I think I'm going to keep it at 9 a.m. Hey, Kristen, long time no see. How are you, my friend? I think I saw a video that you posted the other day. If you missed the first part, I was talking about my lack of video posting. And I think this just happens with content creators and YouTubers. You kind of hit a rut, and I've realized that it's just not sustainable for me to talk about things that maybe I am not as passionate about, especially in the company realm. I still will direct teachers who are interested in getting into the industry, into various companies. And you can go to my website, onlineteacherdude.com, just click on teach. You'll see the companies that I know about and recommend, and you can apply. But it has become difficult for me to keep up with that. And so if you've emailed me asking about, your resume for companies, or with asking me for what companies are hiring this year, I'm sorry if I haven't gotten back to you, but it's just too difficult. You could make a list of probably 300 companies that are hiring technically, if you talk about online English or online ESL companies, but 95% of them are garbage. And of the ones that aren't garbage, most of them don't pay very well. Some of them go on hiring freezes. Some of them are just not fun to work for. And so, I'm really pushing the independent teaching route. And I think just the entrepreneurial route in general, I think that 2023 is a year when we're going to see a lot of online teachers, growing, scaling, and building something bigger for themselves outside of working for companies, or outside of maybe even one-to-one trading time for money online teaching, right? Which is still something that I'm doing, and that I know many of you are doing too. And it's wonderful because we can create the schedule that we want, and the flexibility, and set the pay that we want, and customize our classes the way we want. But at the end of the day, we are working for a per hour rate. And so there is a cap as to how much you can make. I love the idea of creating courses and scaling and memberships and ways to create passive income for yourself, creating products and things like that to serve your audience. So the new regulations, sorry, I could talk to folks forever, but let's get this up, and let's pull this up here. So this was the article that was shared with me. China bans all off-campus. I'm not going to be looking at comments because I'm on another tab. So I'll come back to you in just a second. But China bans all off-campus teachers and job ads and online teaching. So this is, exactly what we saw in August of 2021. This is dated December 14th of 2022. the opening sentence, China is expected to establish a long-term mechanism to completely root out disguised academic tutoring by June of 2024, a new guideline said on Tuesday. So completely root out disguised academic tutoring. What is disguised academic tutoring? This is where folks in China are offering classes under the guise of something else. Babysitting, housekeeping, camps, whatever. There's a litany of different types of jobs that people are hiring ESL teachers for, but they're actually just providing academic tutoring under the guise of something else. So not really applicable to us. Levy heavy fines on homestay and online tutors to deter extra academic tutoring among kindergarten pupils and primary and middle school students. This is exactly what came out in August of 2021 with the double reduction policy. There's really nothing new in here that I can see. You could read this and say that, okay, yes, I am an online tutor, technically. Okay, you could say that. So let's keep reading. The draft stipulates that individuals and organizations that conduct academic tutoring under the guise of behaviors like I was saying, consulting, housekeeping, family education guidance, homestay tutors, winter summer camps can be fined up to this amount of money. Okay. Those who use instant messaging apps, online video conferencing, or live streaming platforms, or conduct tutoring at hotels or coffee shops face the same fines. So there were reports of teachers, talking to students in coffee shops under the guise of conversation maybe, but actually offering classes, or doing tutoring at hotels, right, where it was more private and maybe they weren't going to be discovered. So they're trying to crack down on, as it says in the very beginning, these disguised academic tutoring things. I think it's also important to note that there is very, just get rid of this banner. There's very little that that the Chinese government is going to have dealings with North American teachers that don't have companies set up in China, have no ties to China, and therefore would have a very difficult time creating any kind of legal or financial repercussions for online teachers. I think that if you've made the decision to teach privately a handful of students, in a sort of quiet way with students that have reached out to you for classes, I think you're pretty safe. And I don't think that that's what this is really targeting, but we'll get into the rest of this here. Fines, okay, we read about that. Jointly released by the Ministry of Education and 11 other departments, the guideline bans any advertisement, okay, for homestay tutors. Not really sure what that is, but I don't think we're homestay tutors. One-on-one tutors for kindergarten pupils and primary and secondary students. So again, it's talking about advertisements, right? So if you are using social media like Xiaohongshu, for example, then you, as I believe, has always been said, be careful with, how you are talking about your business on those apps, for fear of potentially getting banned or, having difficulties. If you're using social media apps like Xiaohongshu, I would recommend that you keep content to be very educational and helpful, and you would never want to be directly marketing your ESL teaching business on those social media apps. You're using those social media apps as a funnel to bring interested students into your classes through having conversations with them on WeChat, which is through direct messaging. It's more closed and private. So you just, if you're marketing, some of us have been fortunate not to have to do any big marketing or, going out there looking for students, because maybe you've been able to build your business off of referrals, which is fantastic. But again, just be careful, just kind of make sure that you are not being too direct and explicit about your business and about charging money to Chinese students for classes. So that's what I would say about that. So they want to strengthen supervision for online job websites. Fair enough. Hopefully none of you are listing on online job websites. Job ads related to after-school tutoring to be banned. I don't think that's anything that individual independent teachers need to be too concerned with. Should not include home tutoring in any form of their services. And then I just highlight this underlined part here. A joint inspection mechanism will be established by multiple departments to deal with disguised academic tutoring at business centers and communities. Not really applicable to what we're doing, especially during holidays, weekends, summer, and winter breaks. And then they talk about a tip-off system. This has always been something that China has created for citizens to report illegal activities or things like that to offending parties. And so, yes, that's why, my only concern with this article would be in regards to online independent teachers that are marketing their classes on Chinese social media. I think you should just kind of understand, that China is serious about not allowing companies and institutions to provide ESL classes and extracurricular academic tutoring to students, and that we just need to be careful. But they're not going after, one of us who is teaching a handful of students. I would be very surprised if that would ever happen. I think that as long as you're, keeping things on a small scale, you're not establishing a company in China, you're not doing heavy marketing in China, you're not listing on job websites, doing explicit advertising for Chinese students, then I would say carry on, my friend. There doesn't seem to be anything too different in this article than what we learned about in 2021. Anyone have any comments about this? See if there's anything else here. It then goes on to lots of advertisements. And, oh, what was that? Oh, nothing about teaching. Okay, facelifts. Let's see. I know folks are going to comment. Let's have a look here. So we've got a number of online schools. Yeah, and those are the ones that need to be concerned, right? Those are the ones that are going to come under pressure and have financial consequences for sure. Katie says, I think this is basically just reiterating the previous announcement. Yep, but starting to focus more on smaller Chinese tutoring organizations. Yeah, and as well as the article said, people that are trying to skirt the rules by doing it under the guise of different occupations, so to speak. They've basically finished with targeting the big companies and now trying to crack down on the smaller ones, which were evading the regulations. Yeah, I mean, that's actually a good point, Katie. I think in the beginning, it's like with any new regulation that comes in. Let me just hide this for a second. With any new regulation that comes in, it's easier to target the larger ones at first, right? Because those are the big players in the game, and those are the ones that are what everybody talks about, knows about, and can report. So, companies like VIP Kid, Magic Ears, GoGo Kid, etc. But it's the smaller ones that we're able to maybe linger on a little bit longer. I think that's a really good point. I would emphasize that targeting academic tutoring for kindergarten, middle school only, so maybe a prompt for teachers to focus on high school or older and less academic classes. Good point. Hey, Kelly, I loved your video. I hope you're doing well, Kelly, with your group of kiddos there. Let us know how you're doing with that. I definitely felt for you when I was watching your video. Kelly's well, I don't know. Are you teaching online anymore, Kelly, or have you stopped teaching with Outschool? I think you were with Outschool, right? But Kelly has a YouTube channel and was also creating lots of videos about VIP Kid back in the day, the good old days. They also mentioned fines and incentives for individuals to report tutoring organizations. Yeah, that's allowing them to find those smaller ones. Yeah, absolutely. I think that to answer you, Mary, I think that yes, in our exchange of online classes with Chinese parents, the only ones that are potentially at risk for fines or discovery would be our students. But again, on the small scale that we're teaching independently, I stand by not feeling like this is of great concern for us. But and again, it's their decision, right? Like, we're offering a service to someone that has chosen to reach out and purchase classes from us. So there's a responsibility there as well. It's not like we're doing something that's forced or without their consent or something like that. So I hope you can understand what I'm saying there. Hey, Kinga, yes, I'm live. I'm back after 6 weeks of not doing anything. The link. Okay, the link to the article. Yeah, actually, this article came via our friend Kinga there, because I had a couple of teachers email me about it, and I could not find it anywhere. In my opinion, the Chinese government is interested in their piece of the pie, the bigger companies. Yeah. Interestingly, I still see even big international companies like Cambly advertising on Xiaohongshu. Yeah, interesting, right? I mean, good point, Katie. I really just don't think that this is of any big concern for us. But I do know of at least one smaller Chinese company which has been hit the past month. This isn't just a propaganda announcement. They are implementing it. VIP now has found a way to get around it. I don't think they'll be able to come after someone doing this out of the country, more for those operating within. Agreed. They will also require that payments be run through state banks to ensure monitoring of what the companies are charging. Yeah. Hanging in there, teaching very PT online. Gotcha, Kelly. Glad things are going. Hopefully I'll read between the lines that it might be a little bit better, but glad that you're hanging in. What do you mean by email solicitation? Do you mean like email marketing? If someone's consented to give you their email address, there's no problems there. The new rules also mandate that tutoring services not be offered after 8:30 at night. Yeah, I think that's probably fair. Most of us, I mean, that was what the company, that came into effect years ago with VIP Kit. I think it was 9 p.m. I think in 2018 or 19, I can't remember now, but VIP Kit and others wouldn't allow students under the age of 12 to book classes before or after 9 p.m. So there we go. All right. 40 of you watching. Wow. So glad that you're here. And if you missed the beginning, I talked a little bit about where this channel is heading and some of the content that I want to create and the type of content that I don't want to create anymore and that I want to kind of stay away from a little bit and start doing maybe more of vlog style of content with, building a business, working online remotely, and helping teachers to build other aspects of their business that would help them to scale and grow. And, it doesn't have to just be independent teaching. I have been able to do what I've done over the last 5 years after quitting my teaching job because I learned skills to be able to grow a brand, grow an audience, market, and to add value and create a business that makes more money than my teaching job ever did. And I want to be able to share, how to do those things with your situation. So anyway, you can go back and watch that and join the Facebook group. Again, going solo, we're 5,000 strong, and there's just so much support in there. And even when I was on holiday, just seeing a teacher post a question about something and getting so many great responses, even when I'm not able to always answer everyone's question, there's so many knowledgeable and experienced people in the group. So really appreciate all of those members that are there and appreciate all of you for joining the live today. If you want to talk about anything, we've got a few more minutes. What are you doing out there in online teaching land? What companies are you working for? How is the independent teaching going? What are your goals for 2023? Would love to hear it. Yeah, the Facebook group, it is linked in the video description, but I will put this back up here. Oh, the other thing is my course. I've had a lot of people joining the wait list. I've run it live about 6 or 7 times in the last year. And I have decided to offer it at a reduced price on a sort of how to describe it on a way that you could, if you haven't gone through my Going Solo course and you want to teach independently, but you don't want to wait for the next launch where we run it live with a group of teachers, I want to offer it to people to purchase when they want at a significantly reduced rate, but with the same value, without the live component. So I'm working on that as well. And just thinking always about other, courses and things to offer to online teachers. So anyhow, if you are an online teacher and you have a story to share, don't forget, you can email me. I'm starting back up with interviews next Monday. I've got one scheduled, a good one. And I'm looking to start scheduling people for the rest of the month and February. So it doesn't have to be anything grand or life-changing, but I think interviews are really fun, and learning about what other online teachers are doing is helpful for you and inspiring in ways as well. So have a think about it. If you have a story to share, have had success with marketing, have had success with maybe offering something different, or you just want to talk about the company that you work for, I'm cool with that as well. And always, willing to help you promote yourself as well by coming on the channel. So reach out to me. My email address is below, or you can send me a message on Facebook. It's Tim Gascoigne, and you can find me in the Facebook group as well. So we will end there if there isn't anything else going on. Cool. You're starting a YouTube channel, trying to help people with mental health because my background is a psychotherapist. I'm a big fan of YouTube, and I could talk about it all day because it is a wonderful way to create long-lasting content that can always bring in traffic and income, essentially. So, Carolyn's lost a few students. Sorry to hear. I have two, but I've also gained students. It's been kind of funny. Are you guys getting lots of cancellations this week with Chinese New Year? I am. Getting him back into a routine. Good to hear, Kristen. I always find the end of the year and the start of the year a really tough time for me. I don't know why. It just feels like everything ends and I'm like starting from scratch again. There's good points to that and positives, but it can also be difficult. And I've found this new year very difficult to kind of get back into the swing of it. Into the thick of it. Taking a sabbatical in the online teaching space has been a challenge. Did you take a break? It is challenging for sure. Stepped away from private coaching for a bit, just heard about new rules and wanted to catch up before sending out New Year's greetings. Thank you, Doug. Hello from Portland. Cool. Never been to Portland, but always wanted to go. Hey, Lulu, you're catching a little late. You can watch the replay, though. I lost my son 5 years ago. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's what brought me to VIP Kid in the first place. I was able to bring intention, love, teaching to the children as I did my son. Oh, gosh, Dana, so sorry to hear. But, VIP Kid was just a wonderful outlet, wasn't it, to be able to shine and bring joy to not only our students' lives, but also our lives as well. So thank you for sharing. It was really good to see you. Thanks, Sherry. I'm still around. Living and thriving, as they say, or do they say that? I'm just making that up. Living and thriving. Sounds good, right? I took about 6 weeks off as well. I'm taking time to really just clean up some things in my business and, take things slow and just get clarity. And I think there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's good. It's healthy. Okay, so lots of love to all of you. Thanks for being here. We're going to end. Thank you to the over 35 people that tuned in. I just feel so grateful that you came and that you showed up. So appreciate you. If you're watching the replay, put #replay down below, ask a question, and say hi. And we will see you next week. Again, get those interviews started. If you would like to come onto the channel, please reach out and let me know. Take care, everyone, and I will see you soon.